We have such a beautiful message for you today, and it's not only about you being a gift to your lineage, but also a gift that you're recovering and excavating from the lineage and bringing forth into the mortal realm, into the physical realm, that's allowing the soul to fully express itself in a way that hasn't been experienced before by those who walked this earth parallel to you. Okay, I'm seeing they continue to walk and experience this earth parallel to you. Your ancestors are ascending through your expanded frameworks of seeing yourself differently, also seeing the potential that you have in this world from a more evolved point of view. So as you make ascended choices, and I'm seeing it as the descent into feeling of fear, but then also transcending that fear by choosing to guide this octave of consciousness that you're hosting within you and showing it a different way. And I'm seeing the result is stepping into more of a luminescent existence. There are many souls that see life through the frameworks of your eyes, of your subjective view and lens. And it's incredibly healing to see life on earth the way that you do, and to finally see yourself the way that you do, because I'm just seeing, let me just paint you the picture, many beings who have looked at themselves in the mirror in your lineage and felt disconnected from their own divinity and their own power. And there's so much beauty in the way that you see and connect to yourself, in the way that you've cultivated this trust with yourself. This whole message is very much about you descending from 𝓻𝓪𝓵𝓻, which is the celestial realm, incarnating into 𝓂𝓵𝓻, which is the realm of the living, and descending into 𝓚𝓭𝓭𝓪𝓵, which is the realm of the ancestors. It's the realm of the deep unconscious self. You're reclaiming all of these gifts from this hidden underworld or cave, and then you're bringing them back forth into the land of 𝓂𝓵𝓻, or the realm of the living, and sharing this celestial knowledge that has been buried deep into 𝓚𝓭𝓭𝓪𝓵, the underworld, and finally sharing it with this terrestrial plane. That's your story. And it's through this deep internal descent. That's what I was being shown. And I'll tell you how. So I go running down this track, right? And there was a huge entrance of this doorway. When I talk about huge, it's huge. It's like you step the doorway, or the gateway is literally this open cobra's mouth. It was unfinished. Now, what happened is that they've transformed this. The other day I went running and they transformed the whole thing into a jaguar, which is the land of 𝓂𝓵𝓻. It's the land of the living. So it says that you've just transcended this descent into the underworld, and you're now coming back to the land of the living unrecognizable. You're going from the unseen to the seen. But when you are seen again, it's completely different, right? It's very much the story of Persephone, who was the daughter of Demeter, and she was the goddess of agricultural cycles. And one day Persephone, her daughter, was playing in the spring. She was abducted by Hades because she was so beautiful and taken into the underworld. Anyway, Demeter, her mother, fell into this Great Depression and stopped watering the land, essentially. And so it withered away and went dry and barren. One day, Hermes came down and had struck a deal with Hades to allow Persephone to spend 6 months in the mortal realm and 6 months in the underworld. And it's only because she did not eat the full pomegranate that was given to her. If she had, then she would have had to stay there for all of eternity, but because she didn't, there was this loophole. And I'm seeing that loophole be you in your ancestral line. So as Persephone comes back into the mortal realm, she now has this different energy to her because she's the queen of the underworld, yet she also carries two worlds within her at once. She carries this deep fear and this octave of consciousness that her whole ancestral line experienced, yet she also somehow transcends it by allowing it to be something that coexists within her, but she also guides it through this existence. And she extends compassion to those around her that don't fully understand the depths of her being, that don't fully understand the depths of what goes beyond this 𝓂𝓪𝓬 realm, what goes beyond the physical, visible experience. And so she represents the soul that is untouched by time, is unaffected by what transpires in the shadow realms or the light. She is the integrated self that begins to model that example of you can still be soft and compassionate, yet have this deep, fierce, unapologetic expression. And actually, the compassion to the self is inseparable to that unapologetic expression. And I'm seeing that happen for you right now, where there's something that you're expressing in a way that you weren't able to express before, and you're doing it for all those who have come before you. And that's the transformation that I'm seeing, bringing in that celestial knowledge that was buried deep into 𝓂𝓪𝓬 in the, depths of your own psyche, and then excavating that. Before we continue with today's message, I am both excited and honored to finally share with you this very unique energetic blend. This theme right here gives me chills to even speak about, just because it's to do with the stars encoded at their coordinates at the time of your incarnation. So it's your own unique energetic blend, and how you can overlay these energetic signatures to complement not only your avatar, the identity, and your own emotional landscape as you move through this system, but it's almost like the physical materialization of your energetic makeup or blend. I'm going to share with you my one. This is co-created with Otter Spirit. So if you don't know who Otter Spirit are, they're a small family-owned business that handcraft these beautiful AAA gemstones. You have intention packs, all the way from zodiac packs to chakra collections. You have crystal spheres to, like little crystal balls and necklaces, bracelets, earrings, everything. And one of the proceeds are also donated towards otter sanctuaries and wildlife. I am super excited. So I'm going to share with you why I chose each one. We're going to talk about the symbology behind each gemstone, and also how to choose your own. The first one that I chose was my sun sign, and for my sun sign, I chose sky blue. This is my first time holding a bracelet, trying them on. I wanted to do this together. So sky blue is the first one that I chose. This is the ruler of Libra, Pisces, Taurus, and Cancer archetypes. And the intention is all about healing. And it also directly helps you work with the throat chakra. So it's the ruler of the throat chakra. So that's my sun sign. If you don't know, my Cancer sun. The quote for sky blue jade is, "I cultivate peace and emotional healing." For the rising sign, I chose labradorite, and that's because this is a gemstone that I've held close to my heart throughout my Mexican journeys that I've embarked on. And labradorite is such a powerful one. You can see that beautiful, almost ethereal hue. And the reason I chose this one is because my rising sign is in Sagittarius. If you don't know, I'm a Sag rising. And it also rules over Pisces, Aquarius, and Scorpio archetypes. The intention is all about intuition. I just love this so much. I'm trying to do it justice right now with the light, but it glows when the light hits it, even more so in the sunlight, but you can kind of see those blue hues. And anyway, the chakras that this helps you work with is both the third eye and the crown. So it's very much the ruler of the upper dantian. For the rising sign of labradorite, the quote is, "I am the change I want to see in the world," which is so, so powerful. Then for aquamarine, which I chose for my moon sign, which is in Gemini, is, "I navigate life with calm confidence." And I love aquamarine. This is also another gemstone that I've held close and true to my heart throughout these Mexican travels. And this rules the zodiac signs Pisces, Libra, Cancer, and Gemini. And it also rules over the throat chakra. And the intention is all about balance and confidence. I'm going to try on these for the very first time together. So aquamarine first for my moon sign. Then I'm going to do my rising sign last. I want to do my sun sign next for sky blue jade. And then I'm going to do labradorite for my Sag. Beautiful. This is how they look. So if you want to twin with me and you like this energetic blend, I just love it. It looks, I'm actually in love with it. Yeah, I'm actually so in love with this. Anyway, if you want to be able to do this yourself, you can take a look at the zodiac sign intention packs that they have, not the ones that are pre-selected, but your own unique energetic blend, and you can handpick each one of the gemstones. Let me know what your signature would be. Okay, we have 444 on the clock right now on the time, so yeah, let me know. There could be an element of protection that is being you're being wrapped in. I'm seeing my aquamarine here right now as well, so definitely targeting the upper dantian and allowing you to navigate this world, this terrestrial plane, with celestial intentions. That's what this blend would be if I had to label it. So anyway, you have 2 discount codes in the description box below. You have one for 20% and also one for 30% off as well. So definitely check out Otter Spirit. Thank you so much, Otter Spirit, for this co-creation. It's such an honor and pleasure. And anyway, let's dive back into the message. There is this remembrance that's being reborn through you. There is this healing that's taking place, and to heal is to integrate, it's to become whole, and it's to see the land of 𝓂𝓪𝓻, the land of the living, through the lens of the soul, the one who's experienced these high highs and the low lows, but then is also seated at the center of them, simultaneously experiencing themselves as the void while they move through the totality of creation itself. And that's what's flowing from you during this time. You've been able to go deep into the ancestral realm, and we even have the ancestral realm here. So this was already waiting for you. It's like we have already been waiting for you. You have been handpicked, selected, called in through resonance to carry the things that your ancestors couldn't, but to also finally put down the things in which they could not. And it reminds me of the epigenetics reading that we did. It's the teaching, so I'll link that down below as well if you're new here. But this is essentially where you've journeyed into, right? It's the forgotten ancestral shadows that have been sleeping. It's the lost fragments of the self that you've been recovering, right? You've been remembering all these different members of yourself, all these different expressions, and returning them home to the land. That's what's going on. And it's this purity, it's this one, it's Christ consciousness. This is what it is, right? It's the one that streamlines. You can see it as the DNA being encoded, descending, Christ consciousness, a fractal of awareness becoming conscious of itself, not just collecting the data of the fear, but experiencing it firsthand, and then becoming the observer of the one experiencing it. And that gap that you're creating is this choice between unconscious repetitive behavior and choosing to unapologetically own that expression. Once consciousness wakes up in their lineage, it begins to behave very, very differently, especially around what has been modeled to it. The further that we weave down the ancestral lineage, the more that we see that a lot of this is societal engineering and conditioning, and you are deprogramming and deconditioning yourself to recondition yourself. That's what this is. There are no bounds or limitations or restrictions, not in the way that you were taught. There's less rules than what we were told here. And that's the remembrance that's happening through you. Now, I also have some notes, right? So I was really like focusing on this energy beforehand, before bringing this forth. And when I typed in 𝓂𝓪𝓻 and 𝓂𝓂, I was being shown the same story that essentially happened at Chichen Itza, and this is what caught my eye. It was the merging of the humans with the stars, and you being the bridge that restores the celestial knowledge and brings it forth to this terrestrial plane. So it's like you're roaming this world but with otherworldly knowledge. And I said that it's like your instinct and your vision that are meeting inside of one field. And it's a remembrance that the disconnection to source once led to self-destruction and how we move through the system. But you become that bridge. You are able to see yourself clearly once again. You can restore the vision. I'm seeing this as a gift that you can offer to the world. It's a way that you can hold space for others that do not yet see themselves clearly, because you had to hold space for yourself through that own process of awakening, is how I'm seeing it. And awakening is not changing who you are, it's just discarding all the belief systems in which you're not, that you've taken on. And that's the celestial meeting the physical. That's what I'm seeing. It's a gateway back into yourself, and you are that gateway. Now, another thing I want to mention is that it reminds me of the 𝓤𝓪𝓬𝓪 energy that we did, which is the Church of the Ancestors, or the Ancestors of the Church. And it's a story that begins somewhere that's older beyond time, right? It's beyond time. And there was a specific energy in this reading. It was all to do with a false door. So if I read to you some of the notes from 𝓤𝓪𝓬𝓪, that was all to do with a volcanic rock, something like obsidian. So obsidian may be something that you want to work with. It allows you to be grounded in your body. This one is silver obsidian, and you can actually see her. I'm not sure if you can, but this one has actually a face in it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It has to have a light on it in a very specific way, so I'm going to see if I can find it. But I'm seeing this, like in your root chakra, there is ancestral expressions encoded within you. And the thing is, inside of your root is the DNA of your ancestral lineage. And inside of your DNA encoded within you is the potential of everything that you have, the potential of becoming, and everything in which you've been as well, that you can simultaneously access. That's what I'm seeing. So here, I don't know if you can see it, guys, but there is a face. I'll see if I can get a video of it and maybe input it into this video instead. You can see it more in the sun, but it's like this essence. It reminds you of the obsidian message. Anyway, obsidian is formed very quickly when volcanic lava cools down, and it holds the energy of sudden transformation, fire alchemy, and the earth's power. This is about you being, I'm seeing not just a voltage, but a battery pack where you can sustain this level of awareness as you move through this construct, and you're powering something new into the earth. It's your unique energetic signature that hasn't been fully expressed and owned and embodied up until now. Your energetic signature has been the culmination or collection of the signatures that came before you that have been passed down, and you're unlocking and activating certain signatures that went dormant. That's what I'm seeing. It's the reactivation of dormant abilities that are reawakening through you. Now, I also spoke about the elements that have been working in tandem. It's an ancestral contract when it comes to death and rebirth. 𝓤𝓪𝓭𝓪 is the underworld, and it's about an ancestral contract in which you had accepted. And this is about overcoming this, right? Because we are called forth into a lineage to take on many of these belief systems, but then also within us encoded is the ability to alchemize these belief systems and transcend beyond them. You are that point. You are the key to move freely between realms, right? To move freely between the realms of limitations and transcending those limitations. The other thing I want to mention is the essence of the 𝓤𝓪𝓬𝓪. We have 444 on the clock right now. So again, definitely a protection that you have here. This was all about Chiron conjunct the moon in Aries. This was emotions that are surfacing. This could be something that's happening for you. And those emotions actually inform us. Okay, it's your body informing you what it is that your ancestors have been wounded by. You are a product of medicine. You are someone that can turn poison into medicine. You can turn something that seems to be leaden into a golden opportunity, restoring royalty to the bloodline by clearing up the debris that has polluted the lineage from seeing the way that seeing themselves clearly. That's what it is. It's a pollution, and you're clearing it to restore the flow of life force and the flow of infinite potential being able to express itself through you freely. Conduit. You are a conduit for the realm. You are a conduit for the realms of 𝓻𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓬𝓮 bleeding into 𝓂𝓪𝓬, from the celestial into the terrestrial. Now, Aries energy was about the courage to face this directly, and 𝓤𝓪𝓬𝓪 was the portal to pass through death or the shadow into renewal. It's a day of ancestral healing, shadow release, and also fierce reclamation of the self. In this message, there was a quote that I said, and verbatim it said, "Your wounds are not your barriers, but gateways." What rises in your body, the ache, the fear, the trembling, is the map. And when you meet it with awareness instead of resistance, you walk through the doorway. And on the other side of that doorway waits not your pain, but your power. There is some type of power that you're reclaiming, not just for yourself, but also for all those who have come before you. And the thing is, your ancestral lineage is just one body of consciousness, and they ascend through your ascended frameworks of seeing yourself and the ascended choices that you make that lead to you ascending into a higher octave of yourself, and thus the reality that you can project from you for you to walk in and experience. It's the field that you're generating around you, essentially. So with Ancestral Realm, we'll go ahead and read it, okay? It's definitely the theme. It's been here waiting for you. This was a message I wasn't planning to do today. It was just something that came up, and it was like, yes, this is what's coming through. So all I knew is just show up, and this is what came through. So anyway, the card initiates healing on all levels, but particularly on the family line. In every incarnation, we've been blessed to be a part of a lineage that helps us live our life and embark on learning experiences. And for hundreds and even thousands of years, those who have walked the earth before us have prayed for a better life. We are an answer to those prayers. Even though they may no longer be here in the physical plane, our ancestors are living through our choices and experiences. None of our ancestors had to be perfect. After all, they were human too. They made poor choices and they had mistaken views. Many of their intentions were honorable, many were not. All of this is held within the ancestral lineage, as are many beliefs, ideas, and limitations that are outdated, fear-based, and even harmful. All these karmic energies can hold us back, but when someone decides to walk the spiritual path, whether they realize it or not, their life becomes an answer to their ancestors' prayers. When this card comes to you, your life is an answer to a great ancestral call. That's what this is. Where your fear is, your work is. Your ancestors speaking to you through your contractions, and being able to breathe into those contractions and realizing that on the other side of it is huge expansion, walking through the realm of discomfort when it comes to allowing the gift that you are to be seen, and all in which flows from you as a product of creation, as an extension of you, is where your work is. I was going to say something else with that, but that's what had to come through apparently. Anyway, all in which flows from you as a product of creation. An ancestral call. Yeah. This card initiates healing on all levels, but particularly of the family line. There are many ideas and beliefs in your family that you find limiting or negative. Know that you need not be your truth. You have the opportunity to go beyond the challenging energies of your family lineage. If you're in a particularly challenging time or facing harsh energies with overwhelming energy of your ancestors with you now, they are here to hold a sacred and safe space so that you can rest. Your ancestors are surrounding you now and are here to seek forgiveness for any harmful decisions that were made without full awareness. So right now you're seated in the effect of every decision that came before you, right? Every choice that was made before you. There is something around forgiveness and choosing to create your own happiness by living throughout your heart space, keeping your boundaries strong so that you're able to carve out a new path. There is something that you're doing, right? There's something that you're doing. I'm just going to get one Cosmos Oracle message. Infinity, the eternal being, experiencing temporal moments through time. Man. Again, there is a realm of perception that we can see life through, and all see it through it. It's like this limited scope of essentially pain, right? Healing is to become whole, which is to expand your perception, viewing life through the lens of the soul. And you're viewing life through the lens of the eternal being, the one that transcends beyond these experiences, like seeing yourself as the one that goes outside of the wheel. And this is an activation point. Here it almost looks like Stonehenge. So I'm seeing it as a ley line point where there are certain soul contract or agreements that each country has, each land has, and each organism of consciousness as a planet has. And you're co-creating within each one of these spaces. I'm just seeing the way that geometry overlays and blends, and your capacity to expand what has been contracted in that part of the world, down to the country that you were incarnated into, will speak a lot about the contract or agreements that you have with the land itself and the memory of the land. And there's something about you transforming your relationship to that place of origin and understanding that's not truly where your story began when we look at it from a celestial origin point. Become the observer of the one that experienced their time here and transform your relationship, understanding what it provided you with. I'm hearing recovering, like kind of like traveling into the forgotten realms, but then returning with this knowledge, this pattern recognition, perhaps even letting go of old habits or patterns, like parts of yourself that you had buried that are no longer serving you. It just feels like it's signifying a transformational period ahead, what life looks like at this stage of your life, remembering who you are versus who you've been. Yeah. Something that you're releasing so that you can step into something new. What is that for you? You know, that's going to be different for each and every one of you. But with eternity here and infinity, it's going beyond. It's the eternal being, appreciating these temporal moments. Be open to the possibility of possibilities. This is something that the ancestors weren't able to do. The universe, as we understand it, is truly infinite in every sense. Beyond the space that we can see exists more universe. The slice of the universe that we can see is limited, since only the parts whose light has had time to reach Earth is observable. This means that there is much more than what can be seen, and there remain an infinite number of possibilities. Infinity has no end, therefore it's infinite. Our minds have a start and an end, so they prefer to stay within the limited because it's more comfortable. I'm seeing it as, you know, prolonged embodiment within the human vessel can lead to one forgetting their etheric origins, and we fall into this amnesia. Now, you are the being that has incarnated into the bloodline, that has woken up from this slumber and begins gently guiding your life through a connection that transcends the conditioning of the world. Who were you before the world observed you into form, observed you into something limited? Who have you been all along? That's what this is. Reasons state that there are a few possibilities, but we ignore the other millions. By not considering or believing in those, we delimit the infinite by putting limits on something that does not have to have them all. Infinity proposes that you see beyond what you can see now, opening your mind to the possibility of possibilities. If you do so, they will rise again in plenty new forms. But again, not without getting rid of the limitations first. This reminds me of someone that incarnates into the bloodline. And, you know, children, it's like heaven on earth, and the kingdom of heaven is available to the children of the earth. And it's about returning back to our childlike state. That's what this is. Anyone can become a teacher if we're humble enough to learn. And there is so much that children and that youth and that innocence and that play and that infinite expression in being able to see themselves as infinite and limitless, and understanding that the only lack that exists is within the mind, and that's perceivable. And the moment that we perceive those belief systems and question where do they originate from, only then do we begin to observe ourselves clearly and recognize that there is no form in which we can truly observe ourselves into. And it's never limited to just the one that we're perceiving, because within your DNA stores the memory of everything that you have been and everything that you have the potential of becoming. And all are encoded and coexist within you simultaneously. Which one do you choose to access? Not the ones that you were taught to observe, or the ones that you've been too afraid of. What would happen if you began to observe the version of you that was limitless abundance, abundance itself, motivated, confident, exceptional, instead of the one that believes that they're otherwise. That's the one in which we'll embody. That's the one in which we'll become. And there's something in which you're becoming and you're witnessing the journey of, and your ancestors are clearly also witnessing, that is incredibly enriching to your life experience. And so I'm gonna love and right there. Yeah, that's all. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, do consider subscribing because we'd love to have you around. Personal reading details are also down below. Also check out Ancestral if you're looking for some high quality AAE grade gemstones. And until next time, bye.